This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Thank you. I am Akatura Faith Nisima, standing before you as the second speaker, affirming the motion that states renewable energy should be subsidized. First of all, I shall begin with the rebuttals. The negators came before us and told us that they had set their parameters as the world. However, even the Englishman says that we should clean the splint in our own eye before we go for the log in another. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very high percentage of people that still use non-renewable energy, and I feel we should actually tackle that problem at home before we go abroad. Thank you. Additionally, they said that our budget would suffer, our economy would suffer. However, ladies and gentlemen, are we aware that our economy's backbone is actually agriculture, which stands on climate? Ladies and gentlemen, if we go on using non-renewable energy, we shall in the end have global warming rising up higher, and we shall no longer have this climate we depend on for agriculture. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Uganda is a UN member state and therefore we have the responsibility to uphold all its sustainable development goals. Sustainable Development Goal 7 calls for affordable and clean energy. Ladies and gentlemen, currently, to install the very cheapest solar system is up to 350,000 Ugandan shillings averagely, and the biogas is 4 million Ugandan shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, for our population that is mostly way below the poverty line, we are going to suffer, and people are going to have no choice but to divert to non-renewable sources. That is why Uganda should subsidize the renewable energy sources. In doing this, they will reduce the cost of production from these companies, which in turn will reduce the cost of selling to our citizens. In this way, everyone shall be able to afford these renewable sources. By affording it, ladies and gentlemen, are we all aware that non-renewable sources in Uganda are mostly fossil fuels and wood fuels? These wood fuels are characterized by emission of smoke and toxins into our environment, into our air that our people take in. Ladies and gentlemen, these emissions cause health complications. Ladies and gentlemen, do we not want a healthy population? Do we not want to maximize our human resource? Are we sacrificing our human resource for very small benefits like this? Additionally, we have the Sustainable Development Goal of climate action. Ladies and gentlemen, when we subsidize these renewable energy sources, we shall be able to make sure that more people can use them. More people will be using solar, more people will be using hydroelectricity power. Therefore, it will tax our climate much less. How is this going to happen? Ladies and gentlemen, this wood that we get is from deforestation, and currently, in 2023, Uganda had lost 68.7 kilohectares of natural forest, according to Global Forest Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, the demand for wood is not going any lower with our current status quo. Therefore, people are going to deforest even more. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, if we go on like this, we're going to have a drier Uganda when we stand on agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly what do we want our economy to look like in the future? Additionally, we want to minimize the use of these non-renewable energy sources so that more people can use these renewable energy sources after being made cheaper by the subsidization. We are not, in fact, reducing the taxes and the income of our government, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually looking at it in the long-run picture. Right now, we may pay a very small price. However, in the future, we shall have an economy that and well stands. Thank you.
It is important to consider the broader context and potential trade-offs when evaluating the best form of energy to use. The former speaker has actually come here and told us that Uganda is mostly using wood fuels and fossil fuels, forgetting that there are other forms of non-renewable energies like the crude oil and the coal. Ladies and gentlemen, we as the negators of today stand here and say it is of value to subsidize the renewable forms of energy, but we as the negators have a burden of refusal, and these are our points. 1, market distortion. According to woodmark.com, subsidization of renewable energy distorts the market by artificially alternating competitiveness of renewable energy sources compared to other energy sources. This distortion can lead to the inefficiencies in the resource allocation and hinder the development and more cost-effective energy solutions. Second point that was given by our first negator, cost to the taxpayers. According to irena.com, subsidizing renewable energy places a financial burden to taxpayers. Resource allocation. According to Tekna.com, subsidies for renewable energy may divert resources away from potentially more productive uses, such as investments to existing infrastructure. How? When a significant resources is directed towards subsidizing renewable energy, taking an example of Uganda, that was the parameter set by the affirmatives of today. The fund can be used for the construction, for subsidization of the renewable, but this taxpayer aimed at improving on his or her social services, such as health services and the schools, all the roads, infrastructure, and the rest. This could hinder the overall economic growth and the development of the country, which is Uganda, the set parameter by our affirmatives of today. The fourth point, market competitiveness. According to RiseStartEnergy.com, subsidizing renewable energy may inhibit the competitiveness of other energy sources, potentially stifling innovation and diversity in the market. It may create dependency on subsidies, making it challenging for renewable energy to compete in the market without government support. And if we do not subsidize, there are other options we can do. I rest my case.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.